Gotta sit like this because my back's been hurting. Conversations of a middle-aged man. It's harsh. It's been the last few days. I don't know what it is. I sit a certain way on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, my God, I have to move. I have to sit a different way because this is really painful.
Yeah.
It's making it hard to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
It's making me grumpy.
I can't wait to go to bed anymore.
It's like...
And it's not even like,
yeah.
I want to go to sleep. I just can't wait to lay down so that my neck, my shoulders, and my head can rest on a pillow and not hold everything up.
Oh, by yourself, yeah. My wife got me a neck hammock. Have you heard of this? It's the black thing. You hang it from the wall or a doorknob, and it goes around your head, and you just hang there.
Yes.
And
yes.
It feels
I've
really
always
good.
kind of wanted one of those.
Even when you tilt your neck like this
Can
and
you
like
get it to
this.
pop and stuff?
No, but it's comfortable.
If I can get it to pop, that would be totally
Right.
awesome.
I can never get my back to pop. I've always wanted to. Can't
Stretch.
do it. I've tried everything. All the yogas, all the stretches, all the foam pads, all the rollers, all the videos, everything. I can't pop my own back. Chiropractor does it. He has a really hard time doing it. It is what it is.
I stretch. If I don't stretch, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But if I stretch, if I get to stretching, I can do it.
Well, that's enough
It's
back
easy.
talk.
Today's podcast. What is this?
Vlog?
No.
Video. Today's video.
Okay.
Episode.
Yes.
Go with episode.
Yes. Today's episode is brought to you by Elijah Craig. They don't really sponsor us, but that's what we're having. So thank you very much for a fine bourbon.
Anyway, this is a new experimental show that we wanted to try out because we really enjoy video, we enjoy audio, we enjoy music, and we enjoy each other. Company.
Yes. Yes.
And so we made a video last week that was just fun to hang out and sit and chat, but let's make it a weekly thing, have a weekly show, comes out every Monday morning, 6 a.m., and you'll have all week to watch it, so no excuses, and then the following Monday, boom, you can watch it again, and it's got a fun premise.
The topic is whatever you guys come up with. So, and we won't know until the actual day of the last minute of
recording. Yeah, we hit record, we talk for a minute, and then we have to open either an envelope, a letter, or an email, or someone has to come up to our room and say, here's the topic I want you to talk about, and that's what it is. So there's zero fan base for it. Currently, we're going to have spouses, kids, whatever, come up with a topic. Minus a couple other things. We won't really get into it, but there's a few rules with the topics, just a couple. But it is a very broad spectrum, and they're able to come in, think of a topic, and then it's up to us to talk about it. Really, even if we have no idea what it is.
Rules are, we don't want to talk about politics. We don't want to talk about religion. We certainly don't really want to talk about COVID right now. And don't even ask us about riots and all that other stuff that's going on.
Nope, don't want to talk about it.
Don't want to talk about it. You guys don't need to listen to two middle-aged white guys and what we might have to say about any of it. So, we're not talking about it.
So, we got someone coming up.
Hopefully.
You texted him and there's still nothing.
He's a teenager.
All right, it
so
could be whatever. What Dad wants.
I told him I would text him. He's 17. So this is my son, Riley, who's now a senior in high school. And we don't know what his topic is. I told him earlier this morning that he has to come up with a topic. So he is sucker number one. So what is the topic for today?
Neuralink.
Neuralink. Okay.
As he walks away. Can you spell it?
N-E-U-R.
No, let him do it.
No. Yeah, you're right.
And-
Neuralink.
Can you use it in a sentence? Okay.
Well, it's neuro, right?
Neura.
It's
Neura.
neura.
Neuralink. Okay.
Neuralink. I do have a vague idea
Good. So I have no.
I haven't. I know what he's talking about, only because he's standing right there behind the camera. So getting ready to walk down the steps.
All right, cool.
We watched an episode of Joe Rogan in a conversation with Elon Musk, and about his microchip that he is.
Elon Musk's microchip, right?
Yeah, Elon
Not
Musk.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan's not building a microchip. Elon Musk is that.
If Joe was, it would be pot infused
Yeah.
microchip. How that work, Joe Rogan? There you go. A microchip that does pot things.
Well, it would do. I think he would do stuff with like pot and
UFOs.
Well, probably UFOs. So, anyways.
Anywho.
So Elon, that's how I know him as. We go way back. He has come up with this microchip that will be implanted not into the brain, but actually into the skull.
Good.
But it'll have very tiny electrodes that can go anywhere into the brain that actually has disruption. So if you have a stroke and the part of your brain that makes it so that your muscles don't work, it can go into that part where it's messed up and send signals so that you can actually use those muscles.
So first question of the day.
Uh-huh.
Is this something that would be implanted after a medical emergency or situation?
Yes.
Not something that I would be wanting to go get right now in my current godlike physical state.
Yes. No, I mean, it can't make you any more perfect than you already are. So, but, so this is something that, after an accident and someone is paralyzed, they believe that they can go in and help regen with the spine, the connection from the brain to the spine, so that you would be able to walk again, have feeling, hopefully in Parkinson's, that it could help stimulate the part of the brain that is lacking dopamine that would keep tremors from happening.
Sure, yeah.
It sounds like it's something that he's hoping maybe in the next year.
Wow, that's
that they
soon.
could do this. Yeah.
That's a lot sooner than I thought.
Yeah. I was quite surprised. Actually, the only reason I clicked on, Riley and I were sitting up here, and the only reason I clicked on it was because I know the caption said the microchip Elon has in his brain, and I was
So he already has it. Wants to have. I'm sure he will do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure
he does
I'm
it.
sure he would do it.
For sure, yeah.
It didn't say anything about him having that, but that I was like, what the f*** does he have a microchip in his brain? Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he did.
It could be. I need to learn more about it, because ever since I was a kid, I've had the idea, and I'm sure a lot of people have had the idea before, that I would love to be able to have something on my head or in my head or whatever it is that records all of my dreams. Because I know
that would be cool.
you don't just have one dream a night. You go through a ton of dreams. I can't give you a specific number because I am not a neuropsychologist. I am not a dream analyzer. I am not a smart person. But to be able, you remember like 2 or 3. I remember 2 or 3 from last night, and they were actually pretty cool. The stories. There was time travel. There was a puzzle going on. There's a lot of weird things.
Sure.
I woke up fascinated. But then I thought, man, if I could remember all my dreams, that would be really cool. Especially those times when you wake up with a boop, what caused that?
Well,
I want to see what caused that.
I wake up that way every morning, so.
Good for you. But imagine being able to record your dreams and then uploading them to something, and then just starting at the beginning, and then you could rewind, fast forward, go through whatever, and relive the dreams. Now, it could be dangerous. Well, you don't let your spouse watch it.
Well, that's the thing. See, like, the minute something leaves your brain, I don't care, like, if you type it, you write it down, it ends up on a file somewhere. you send it to somebody, it's always there. So how do you protect yourself from that?
I think if you're willing to have your dreams recorded and put out there, you're willing to just, I'm willing to do that. Whatever they may be, I can't control my dreams. I wish I could. I would love to learn lucid dreaming. I've been meaning to do it for a long time, just haven't done it. But do you think, and this is where I'm going with all of this, is it Neuralink?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Neuralink might someday have the possibility to record dreams? Now, it could probably record electronic signals in your brain.
Sure. I mean, we can already do that.
But to record the actual pictures and conversations and things like that are going in your brain,
yeah,
that would be amazing.
Now that would be amazing. I mean, that like to be able to look back at that and
I wonder how much you'd learn about yourself.
And analyze it and try and figure out what it is that your brain is thinking about.
You'd probably freak yourself out.
And processing and because it might actually help you get through some processes that you're struggling with,
Or it could scare the crap out of you.
Or it could scare the
there
crap
may
out
be
of
a reason your brain doesn't remember all the dreams.
Oh yeah.
I wonder, like 10 out of the 12 dreams that you had were murders and scary monsters and Freddy and Jason and all that kind of stuff. And then you had 2 dreams about being on a boat with friends.
Yeah.
And hanging out doing time travel stuff.
Yeah.
Like normal.
On top of that, I have to take medicine at night because I act out in my dreams. And
Is this a new thing?
it's a PK thing.
Oh, okay. Parkinson's. PK is what the cool people call Parkinson's.
It's a Parky thing. But
am I allowed to say that?
What?
So if I don't have it, am I allowed to say Parky?
Well, you can.
You already hear.
I don't care. So.
I have permission.
I don't care. It's a Parky thing. So.
Parky.
But yeah, so I before I started the meds, I would punch things in the middle of the night. I've thrown myself out of bed by throwing a kick, throwing a punch.
Wow.
Almost shattered our side table once. Yeah. So was terrified that I'd hit Jody. I mean, it was pretty bad times.
The worst for me is I apparently snore. I don't believe it. I've never heard it.
And my wife says she doesn't snore either,
But the wife says there are nights where
Yeah,
he has to wake me up.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, I would love to know, because usually when I'm at the point where, I actually throw the punch, or I throw the kick, and I hit something, because it wakes you up right away.
Sure.
I mean, when your fist hits something that hard, you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember, the last 15 seconds of it. But that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
It's like a dream I had when I was a kid that I do remember, and it woke me up. It wasn't it was somehow me as a kid, probably 14 or 15, driving in a car, but we went over a cliff, and I could feel myself falling.
Yeah.
Like you get that feeling in your stomach, and it woke me up, and I'm like, my God, that was real.
Yeah.
Could be past life memory, could be your brain just knows what it feels like. Who knows? But I'm hoping Neuralink can.
I used to be able, in my early 20s, late teens and early 20s, I used to be able to fly
Really long ago.
in my dreams.
So do lucid dreaming?
Yeah. I could leap from house to house, building to building. I could fly. I could leap and fly for a while.
And you knew you were doing it.
And I knew I was doing it all the time.
And you knew you were dreaming.
And I knew I was dreaming. All the time. Almost nightly sometimes.
See, that's what I want to get
And
to.
then I lost it. And I've never been able to get
Did
back
you ever
to it.
study lucid dreaming? Or
Nope.
it just kind of came to you?
It just, it was just all of a sudden that I knew that I was doing this.
Yeah.
And
You're like, hey.
I've gotten back to the point at times where I knew that I was right there, but I couldn't jump. I jumped, but I couldn't. It's almost like my brain wouldn't convince itself that it could do it.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
As we're adults, you don't want to get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa, I don't need this. I've got to work in the morning.
It's like my brain just is like, it's like you jump, but it's like something's dragging you down because it's like, no.
That's the problem I had in one of my videos that I did. I did a VR video for Richie's Plank, which you played the other day.
Yeah.
When I first put that on, you get in an elevator, you go to the top, even though I knew I was on my living room floor in a safe place. The elevator door opened up and there's a 4 or 5 foot plank sticking out of an elevator. You walk on it, and my son kept saying, "Jump! You just jump off." And I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Well,
I was like,
what did I do?
I was like, I know I'm on the floor. What's the problem?
What did I do?
You got down on your stomach and was looking over the edge.
Yeah, and then I got on my knees and walked over to the couch and put my hands on the couch.
I'm wondering how much psychology is put in that,
and
because they have birds flying, they have a helicopter flying around circles. There's a
I'm
rope
not even
over
afraid
here.
of heights, and I walked. The elevator door opened, and I was like, "Oh,
right."
But
I'm wondering if the stimuli there, the rope, the birds, the helicopter, the sign down there, the little bit of wind going on, if that contributes to it. I wonder if it was a blank atmosphere with just you and the buildings, and if that would be any different. But I'm not sure. I don't think the Richie's
I think it
Plank
would. I don't think it would. I think it would still scare the out of you.
Yes, probably.
It's kind of like so earlier. We were iRacing, which we'll go back to later, and I just bought an Oculus Rift S after last week using his Oculus Quest, and I thought if I could use this as a racing tool, this would be really cool. So I just got it yesterday, the mail, set it up. And I had it on, but I'd forgotten to turn the audio on. So there was no audio, but hands on the steering wheel, and literally you get in. Like once you're done, you're in the car. You look over, like I can see where the passenger seat is. I mean, it's like I'm inside the car now. Instead of looking at being inside the cockpit of a car, but on a flat monitor and everything is centered, it's like I'm in the car.
You can look around.
I can look around
and see everything. It changes the way you play a video game.
But without the audio, so I take turn 1, which is a big U, right hand turn. Didn't really have an issue. It was kind of like, okay. Stepped on the throttle, braked, went out to turn 2, which is a pretty hard left, and I swear to God, the car went to the left, and my brain shot straight out of the passenger side window, and it was like it like the two totally different things happened.
Yes,
and I thought, what the just happened? I don't know that I can do this.
If you play the Mission ISS, the International Space Station game on the Oculus Quest, I mean, you're floating in the International Space Station, and the orientation really messes you up.
Sure.
And if you can handle it, it's cool. If you can't, not. But what would be cool is if they could implement that somehow into the Neuralink.
Yes. Now that would be cool.
To do the VR stuff. I mean, I'm getting ahead of the game here. Maybe. Come on, Elon. Give us the deets.
Yep.
But if you could... The Neuralink...
He's a gamer.
If you do the Neuralink with VR, like be able to put the VR goggles on and then link it somehow to where you don't have that problem.
His girl's a gamer.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. She likes VR. She's a gamer.
Right on.
Yeah. So...
All right, so Neuralink, what do you think?
Neuralink.
It's
Okay.
going to be a good thing, going to be a bad thing, necessary, unnecessary?
I think like all things, when it comes to technology that is this high tech, that is implanted into the skull, and
Not the brain. That's important.
well, but the electrodes are going into the brain.
Okay.
It's just this, it's
Hopefully a much smaller
Actually,
version.
it's about the size of this little processor right here. So.
Okay, so about 3/4 of an inch, or half an inch by half an inch.
Yeah, half an inch by half an inch. Yeah, it's just about that size and about that thin. And they literally just cut a little chunk out, place it in, and then cut a hole beyond that so that the wires can connect. And they have a robot that actually feeds the wires through and stuff. But here's the thing: is with every good implementation, there's a possibility of bad. And so in the early mid 80s, some of you may remember this, some of you may not, or may have never even noticed.
Back to the Future?
Yeah, Back to the Future. No. There were a lot of kidnappings happening, and the police, everyone came up with this plan that all babies would have their handprints done and the footprints done.
Is that why they do it?
And the idea is that if your child is taken, they would already have these things, and they would do DNA was just on the rise, and they would do DNA swaps. So they would have these things on record, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you were kidnapped, they would be able to identify you quicker. They would have all these things, to find where you are, identify you, this and that.
I'll tell you right now, if my kid gets taken, I'm doing one thing. I'm calling Liam Neeson.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
It's just, I guess, in the future could be one more step towards never being off the grid. Your cell phone, you can never, as long as you have your cell phone with you, you can never escape.
Sure, but I'm talking in a you are probably a little bit more biased towards getting it installed than I would be. Medically, if I were to say absolutely not, there's no way I'd want to have that put in my head for the reasons that he just gave. But he said, hey, look, I have Parkinson's, and it's been shown to improve symptoms and do this and do that, so I think it would be beneficial.
What I'm saying is that in the beginning, it's beneficial.
Yeah.
Everything starts off beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, it's beneficial. But the more and more and more people that have it, and the more people that decide to voluntarily put it in for the future, or to enhance their vision, that they were saying that you could actually stimulate or put it in and stimulate so that even if your ocular nerve, like, you could see nothing, no, like it totally blown out, that you could have vision. Up.
But worth it. I think that would be awesome.
That would be worth it. Do I think for my symptoms of Parkinson's right now? No, I'm not doing that. Like, it's not worth it. I know what it's like to have your skull cut open. It hurts.
Sure, I can imagine.
I mean, it hurts for a long time, like 30 years hurts. I mean, it would, like, you would really have to, I would have to be really, really, in the rough spot to have that done, incapacitated to go, okay, I know people that have had brain stimulation done to help, and but these are people that couldn't function.
Yeah.
Couldn't drive a car, couldn't do anything. People that are my age, our age, that couldn't function, in 10 years from now, from where I'm at.
Right.
And that's totally different. In 10 years, my position might change on that. But yeah, no, it's not worth it. But I think for some people it totally is. My problem is just, in the future, you never ever know. You know, once things start being mandated, once everyone starts having it, you know, then it becomes more of a, you know, like I told Riley, I'm like, what if it becomes that everyone has it? And then you think of, which I know I said that I wouldn't talk about, but you have an incident like with the COVID. What if that were to happen again in the future? And rather than saying, you know, like, okay, you have to stay home for this period of time, blah, 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 and everyone goes home, they just tell you to go home, you go to bed, and they press a button, and zap, and everyone that's got one, the heart function, breathing, still works, but that's it. You're in just dream state until, you know, until everything's done.
Well,
and then they wake you back up.
Well, you can't do that because you'd get bed sores after a few days, and that's a whole other thing. Maybe that's too. I don't know. There's a whole slew of things. This could go on forever.
I'm talking future. I'm talking
way future.
I'm talking. You know, our grandkids. You know,
not our grandkids, but he has grandkids.
I mean, the way that you were talking earlier, it sounded like we might have them, but.
Anyway, that's fun. First episode. Hope it was fun. Hope it was entertaining, educational, maybe. Hopefully, we'll get to the point where you guys can come up with some topics for us to talk about.
Yes, please.
We'll try to keep it a little bit shorter. I think this is probably about 3.5 hours long.
It's not 3.5 hours.
But it's good, and we'll do it every Monday. So
it just shows how much we like talking.
It's fun
to each other.
Yeah.
And you.
Yeah.
So.
See ya.
See ya.